Hi guys. Um this is going to be a hard one to do, but I just want to get it out of my system because it's kind of soul wrenching. Um I had one of those nights in my sleep where I was having flashbacks again of the stuff that happened between me and my family. And it got me reflecting on Joseph, the man of many colors in the Bible, Jacob and Rachel's son. If you don't know who Jacob is in the Bible, he was the man who married the two sisters. I think the other sister was Leah. She was the older sister. She wasn't the prettier one. And then Rachel was the pretty one, the younger one, the one that Jacob wanted to marry, but he had to marry the older one first before he married Rachel. And Rachel had Joseph. The reason why I put this little backstory on this over is it's all about love, the Bible, at the end of the day. Jacob didn't love the older sister. So the sins of the father went to the sons. In this case, Joseph. What happened to Joseph was extremely tragic. Jacob gave Joseph a coat of different colors because he was his favorite. And the brothers and sisters knew that Joseph was going to get the inheritance, the big inheritance, that they usually did back in that time in the Hebrew culture. So, and let me just say, Joseph was just a child when this happened. A child. So what the brothers did is they threw Joseph in a pit and told their father, "Look, your son is dead." And they covered it with, I think, like goat's blood or something. And Jacob's heart broke because of that. Now, if you don't know the other name of Jacob, it's Israel. Jacob actually was the one who stole his brother's inheritance by putting a bunch of fur on him and pretending he was his brother, while his father was blind and didn't know if that was him or not. And he gave him the inheritance by stealing it because his brother wanted soup or something like that. They were twins born. So the brothers and sisters, they threw Joseph in a pit, and Joseph ended up getting picked up in slavery to the Pharaoh. Well, he ended up to be like Pharaoh's like number one slave, right? So what happened? Pharaoh's wife, on the other hand, She was the devious type. She wanted Joseph so much, but Joseph wouldn't give himself to her because it's like, no, you're Pharaoh's wife. I'm not going to fuck you. Right? So Joseph made a good choice. He wasn't going to screw her. But what she did is she lied to Pharaoh. She said, oh, he tried to rape me. Because he wouldn't go to her calls of seduction, right? So Pharaoh ended up throwing Joseph in prison, and there he is in the pit again. Joseph ended up having these visions of Egypt and the Pharaoh noticed that he had visions, and people would come to him and ask him to interpret their dreams and stuff, right? So Pharaoh had this dream. He didn't know what it meant. Everyone was like, go to Joseph, he knows. He'll understand. So he went to Joseph. Joseph ended up interpreting the dream, saying there's going to be a 7-year drought in Egypt. And he gave him a vision. Please store your corn for 1 whole year. Don't use it. And just wait for the storm to happen, so to speak. Well, the drought happened. And because of that, Joseph ended up to be Pharaoh's second in command, from prison to Pharaoh's second in command. Well, la-di-da. Apparently, it wasn't only Egypt that was having a drought. Turned out, where Isaac was, I think it was in Canaan, and Joseph's brothers and sisters. Well, it ended up to be a drought too. Well, it's not that far from each other, Egypt and Canaan. Okay. So Joseph's brothers ended up begging Pharaoh for food during the drought, you know. Please, we'll give you servitude. We'll do something. We need to eat. Help us. So Joseph, being Pharaoh's second in command, gave them mercy. When he stood before his own brothers, they didn't even recognize him. They didn't even know that was their kin. Until Joseph revealed himself and said, ta-da! I'm your brother that you killed. I'll save your life, honeys. So Jacob was astounded. My son came back. But still, the brothers and the sin they did to Joseph remained, never spoken about. Joseph embraced them with open arms. Well, it turned out that was a bad move for Israel. bad move for Israel because they ended up being slaves for 400 years under Pharaoh's whip. You see what I say about the sins of the father will go to the children? Well, it did. For 400 years, they paid the price for what they did to Joseph. Same thing that Joseph had to pay the price for what his father did to Rachel's sister Leah and not loving her. Most people would hear this story and feel sympathy for Joseph. Empathy. Poor guy. Going through so much. Because of their brothers being jealous assholes. But do you actually have knowledge of how Joseph felt? Have you ever gone through that where your brothers, your whole family dumps you? I do. I have direct knowledge of how that feels. To be dumped by the people you love the most. People that you thought would not do that to you because they're family. You know, you look at other families and they're normal. They love each other. They embrace each other. They take care of each other. Even through mental illness, they take care of each other. I was never afforded that. I was not looked like that upon my family. Instead, I was treated like Joseph. Thrown in the pit and be like, eh, eh. Whatever happens to you, happens to you. Granted, I look back, and I know there was a couple things that, you know, I made them angry, you know, like every other person. But did I deserve to be dumped in a pit? No. No. I was actually very good to my family. I loved them with all my heart, no matter how much they pushed me away, no matter how many times they were physical with me. I always bounced back. Like even my mom and dad said, Shannon will be there. All you have to do is call. And I was like that with my family. I was like Joseph. Anytime they needed me, no matter how much they treated me like shit. I was there. Until recently. until about a year ago, after going through trauma-based therapy, talking to my therapist about these things, and really a lot of self-reflection. Well, I buried all of it. All the abuse, all the pain, all the suffering, all the missing them, all the I want to be with my brothers and sister. I buried it. I said no more. If they can't give me the love that I deserve and that I require, which is just simple, are you okay? How are you? That's all the love I required from them. Was a simple, how are you? They never did such. I always tried to reach out to them, though. How are you? I love you. I miss you. Without a single true response. Just fake shit. Just more pushing me away. They ain't normal. Normal brothers and sisters, normal siblings care about their siblings. You know how I know that? Because I do. Normal siblings will go to bat with their other sibling. Normal siblings would be there to support their sibling. And everyone knows this is true. I was a sibling. But no more. If they try to call me for help, I'm not there anymore. That person's dead. That person no longer exists. That person doesn't care for your attention, for your love, or for your validation. That person is no more with me. And I'm happy that person isn't with me. I'm glad I can bury it and put it to the grave. Because I know that ultimately, God is my avenger. It says in the Bible that I, the Lord God, will avenge. I will. Hence why Jesus carries the heavy burdens on his yoke of salvation. The only problem with my siblings is I'm worried about my nieces and nephews. Because I know the sins they did to me will be fallen upon them. And I pray to God, please don't touch those babies. But it's physics. It's the second law of thermodynamics. If you push something, you're either going to get equal or greater back of a pushback. And the only thing they had to do was just ask, "How are you? Are you okay?" Maybe a little, "I love you." Nah, they couldn't be asked to do such things. Too much darkness in their heart. But I do inquire, is there shame? There was a lot of shames with Joseph's brothers once they found out that was Joseph that was saving their poor, pathetic, wretched lives. And in a lot of ways, it's a reflection of how Jesus was treated by his own fellow brothers and sisters. So I I I can understand that too, how Jesus felt on the cross when everyone who said they were going to be by his side each walked away and denied they even knew him. I've gotten that from friends too. And I have to tell you, the level of pain rejection is, it's unbelievable amount of pain. It's something that haunts me every single goddamn night I go to sleep. Watermelon, do you have the zoomies? I hear you. But I'm really sick of feeling that. I'm really sick of the flashbacks. I'm really sick of having to reflect on the harm that was done on me. Because frankly, I'd rather ignore it. I'd rather put it away and not even look at it. I'd rather distract myself. I'd rather keep myself busy than reflect on that type of pain that the majority of people in this world cannot understand. But I do. I do. So those out there who want to go and say, why are your brothers and sisters normal? They're not. They can't even love their own sibling or treat them like their family. Most people support their family member that's going through things and that is struggling and mentally ill. And I don't mean financial support. I mean emotional support. But they're a lot like my mother, complete and utter narcissists, only thinking about themselves and their little mask they want to put on. They don't really want to know, is Shannon okay? Like, Joseph's brothers never asked, are you okay? They never even apologized to him. They never even said, I'm so sorry what we did to you. And you want me to save your life? Okay. Okay. I'll save your life, but you are gonna be enslaved for hundreds of years. And then end up wandering in a desert for 40 years. And then you know the rest of the story of that. They wonder why they struggle so much. Maybe it's the fact that your whole culture did nothing but put away your brothers and sisters. Let's go to Abraham and his firstborn, and how you threw that one away, Ishmael. And he ended up being pretty much the whole father patriarch of the Muslim kingdom. And then you wonder why you're at rift with them. Well, maybe you never asked Ishmael if Ishmael was okay. Maybe you kept pushing Ishmael away. And Ishmael was like, fuck that shit. So I was Joseph to begin with. But at the end, I became Ishmael. And I don't give a fuck anymore. You put me away. You said you didn't want anything to do with me. You pushed me away. And then you wonder why you're in the circumstances you are now. I don't care. I don't care. See, I'm not gonna war with you. I'm not gonna fight you. I'd rather you live with the knowledge of what you did, and you can sit in the guilt. Don't ever try to contact me again, because I won't answer, and you don't have anything to contact me with anymore. I don't want to be hit again by you. I don't want to be called names by you. I don't want to think low about myself. Because you made me feel and made me think I was something I wasn't. Garbage. Because I'm not garbage. I'm something. I'm loved in God's eyes. And He loves me ever so much. And blesses me every day. He's a good God. He's a good God. But know this, the things you do to others will eventually come back to you. You reap what you sow. And the seeds you sown are black and dead. I'm never going to return to my past again. I'm never gonna be like that little lost puppy and, oh, please bring me back. No. Being that pushover. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Nope. That person's dead. That person's dead. I'm tired of the flashbacks. I'm tired of them. I'm like Ripley and aliens waking up, sweating, crying, almost at the point of a panic attack from the flashbacks. I don't have to tell them what they did. They know what they did. And they know the pain it's caused. And you should be ashamed of yourself for the shit you've done to me. But God is the avenger, and I don't have to worry. Something tells me He's taken a couple things that you love the most away from you. How does it feel? Did you think about, wow, maybe I shouldn't have done that to my sister? Did you? Huh. Huh. Hmm. You deserved it. Everything that's coming to you, you deserve. Just know that. Because you took a little girl that loved you with all her heart, that pretty much worshipped your feet. Dearest sister. And you pushed her away, made her feel bad for herself, beat her when she was a little girl into her teenagehood. Always hitting me as hard as you can in the back of my head. Were you trying to murder me? What would have you done if you hit me in the back of the head that one time and I would have just seized on the floor, collapsed, and died? Huh? Well, live in the shit you deserve. God will bless me and love me. See, he loves those who are rejected. Because he knows how it feels to be rejected. More than you'd ever know. Imagine you're God, you're creator of this world, and so many people, millions, billions of people reject you on the daily. And you created these fuckers. Imagine how that would feel. That's funny. You could only imagine it. You never actually experienced it. Well, I've experienced things like that. So I know how God feels. Because I have a form of reference to it. See, you can't really understand something, truly, without a form of reference. Without something similar happening to you. Well, I know how it feels. I know how it feels to be completely abandoned and the people you need the most aren't there for you. But then, when they need help, they come to you. Please, I need your help. Oh, you're not getting my help anymore. 'Cause all I know is you're gonna just do the same shit to me. You're gonna take my help, use me, and then throw me back to the wolves. Like has happened to me time and time again with this supposed normal family. More like masked family with a lot of fucked up head problems who pretends they're normal. But you can't do the one true normal thing, and that's to love your family members as yourself. Peace and Maranatha.